Here we go. Here we go. All right. Lots of graphics. Hey, what's going on? Here for another live stream. It's a Friday afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are. Live stream. Was going to do on Sunday. Figured it wouldn't be a good idea to do on Sunday just because it's Easter. But hopefully you guys all enjoy this little thing. Is there a way to make this smaller? There we go. Alright, let me get everything set up. Send this link out to several people. So what's going on with everybody out there? Starting my live stream for Friday. As you notice, I was able to, not that I was able to, I decided for the purposes of this live stream to do half price spins. Just because I understand 20 bucks is a lot for just one spins, and I figured it was a holiday weekend. Why not up it? And yes, some people will notice I did shave off the handlebar. I was only going to have that for a little bit. I know the beginning of this live stream's not super super exciting right now, but I gotta get the link sent out. What's everybody up to this Good Friday? I didn't have to work today, fortunately. Of course, I don't work any Friday. I have 4 days. I work 4 days a week. I have Fridays off, so I get 3-day weekends every week. Alright, link is sent out to who I need to send it to. So let's have some fun. Cindy, you're here for a live stream. That makes me happy. How's it going? D-Lo Cowboy says Stone Cold is the best wrestler of all time. Definitely one of the most popular. I don't know if you're talking about popularity or if you're talking about technical ability. Ken terminated by Google. $5 super chat. I don't know if you've heard of Chris Adams, God rest his soul, but you are the real gentleman. Maybe you should change your name to Gentleman Greg Cherry. I am actually very aware of Gentleman Chris Adams. He was actually one of the creators of the super kick. And Ken, if you was seeing this right up here, there you go. Half price spins. If you had doubled it, you would have got spin out of it. You would have been all set up. And Aaron just said the same thing. I just saw that. Mick Doherty, what up, my friend? Not a whole lot. Just relaxing. As you can see, now that you guys are joining, shaved off the facial hair for my WrestleMania bet. It's all over Twitter. It's on my Instagram also, both at PA Sensation. So it lives on in infamy. So the WrestleMania bet lives on there. It's also on Cherry versus Neri, which just went up today, actually. So you'll still see it there. 42nd Street Matthew. Evening, Greg. Chop's gone already? Yeah, Matt, I got rid of him. For those that don't know, Matthew and I actually went to BC3, like a school, college together. So it's kind of cool we reconnected there. Steve OJ, first live stream here, seeing what this is all about. Yeah, we have a lot of fun here. And if you can see in the background right here, The Wheel of Pen send for the half-price spins. Typically, I do $20 for a super chat or for a Streamlabs donation, which is in the lower right-hand corner there. I point, but I'm all over the place as far as pointing. Right there. Right there, the Streamlabs link. If you send a $10 donation, you get your name on the screen, and you get a fancy little graphic. And same thing if you subscribe to the channel. But I guess I should get into the live chat. I'm in the top chat. No wonder I might not be seeing everything. Cindy. Yeah, Ken, so he can sing his heart out. Yeah, Cindy, if you want to, there's a whole bunch of things, and I'm glad you can actually see them. I raise the wheel up a little bit so you can see them. There's karaoke, there's me doing entrances, there's me doing a dance break. What else is on here? Truth time. Me telling the truth about anything, doesn't have to be wrestling related, within reason, of course. What else is there? There's road stories, so I could tell you some of the stuff that happened while I was on the indies. So, yeah, half price spins today, guys. So you don't have to donate 20. But if you do donate 20, you get 2 spins. So there you go. Ken terminated by Google. I wouldn't be surprised if Sean stole the super kick from Chris Adams. Well, probably everybody stole the super kick from Chris Adams because I think he was the first one to use it. Correct me if I'm wrong. My wrestling history isn't super good, despite being the Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion for over 400 days. And Ken says, I joke about Cherry singing Homer Simpson's favorite song, It's Raining Men. Hey, if you had doubled your donation, you had a chance. All right. McDoherty, does 205 matter? It does. And Tony Nese has taken foothold as the champion there from his win at WrestleMania. So hopefully they can continue on what Buddy Murphy really helped everybody on 205 Live step it up. So I'm hoping Tony Nese can do the same thing as champion. Let's see. I would like to hear Greg's thoughts, Migs. And yeah, I just went over that. Rift, who is doing the spin today? Well, I'm hoping somebody does the spin. The last time I did the wheel pen set, nobody spun it. And then I've had one for 4. So I guess it really depends on the day who's all available. And with half price spins, you guys can get a real good price on a t-shirt. That's what I'm saying. You can up your chances. You can even win a couple. You never know. It depends on how the wheel goes. Big G's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Big G. Appreciate you joining on the live stream here. Rift asks for the chat, who's the best move to Raw and the best move to SmackDown. I know Travis and I covered that on Cherry versus Neri. Again, after this is over, you can check that out if you wish. I think Bayley is one of the best moves to SmackDown because she could really use a solid singles run and possibly a heel turn. Something to spice up her character. 42nd Street Matthew. Didn't Chris Adams train Steve Austin? I know one of Austin's first big feuds was against Adams. That's very possible. I know Chris Adams was in WCW also for quite a bit of time. Unfortunately, he was just used as mostly an enhancement talent, which is a shame, especially in the later years of WCW, that Chris Adams wasn't used better. He had an awesome theme song, too, for those that remember it. I actually have it on my phone somewhere. Big G, I should get a birthday spin. I mean, you could. I could do that for you. Free spin for Big G. Yeah, tell you what, I will do a free spin for Big G if I get a regular spin from somebody else. How about that? So that way I can do that spin for that person and then a birthday spin for Big G. How about that? Ken says, maybe Reigns and SmackDown as 2 top faces. I love Samoa Joe, but Almas should be the U.S. champion. Well, from everything that's been talked about, Joe is going to Raw, so Almas has that opportunity to be U.S. champion. Ken says, when Vince was announcing the biggest acquisition, if I could speak English, to SmackDown, I really thought it was going to be Corbin. I was kind of hoping it would have been Corbin, too, because, of course, they probably didn't want to do the Reigns-Corbin feud over on SmackDown. I mean, crying out loud, Corbin's going to be part of the Shield's last match again. Which is ridiculous. Can you not find another trio to face the Shield in their 95th last match ever? It is what it is. I mean, they had a good 6-man at Fastlane, but I don't know anybody who's going to take time out of Easter to watch a match they've already watched. I'm waiting for them to just replay the Fastlane match and see if anybody notices. Mick Doherty, Almas will get a push now with him dating a Flair. Well, Almas should have had a push anyway. I mean, he was already NXT champion. I think he'll have a solid push, especially he beat Finn Balor on Raw, and now Balor's on SmackDown. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit, just a little bit, because my face is getting covered with text. Lars Kirsch, what's up, Greg Cherry? How are you? I'm doing pretty well. I'm waiting for somebody to take advantage of the half-price spins. I can get a t-shirt from my Pro Wrestling T-store for a freaking good deal if they spin it. Ken says, if Harper isn't leaving, I would love to see a Wyatt family reunion. You know, they probably could do that. If they're going to do it on a house show, they might as well do it. They should do Harper, Rowan, and Wyatt and recreate their Elimination Chamber 2014 match. Because that match was phenomenal. So good. But of course, Bray Wyatt's not on TV right now. Harper's not on TV, and he just asked for his release. Mick Doherty, I agree. I enjoy all his matches. I like Corbin. I don't know why so many people give him such a hard time. What's up, Ken? What's your question? Lars, best move for Raw, AJ Styles, best move for SmackDown, Roman Reigns. Yes, switch 2 of the top baby faces. Cindy says, how about Shield versus AJ Strowman and Miz as a final opponent? Oh, that's possible. It'd be different than the match they've already done. 42nd Street Matthew. Chris Adams did train Steve Austin. They feuded in the dying days of World Class Championship Wrestling and the USWA. That's pretty good. I mean, it makes sense. Chris Adams was very underrated. Sadly, he's already passed. Steve OJ, no more Wyatt family reunions, and I will miss Luke Harper. Yeah, I think a lot of people will. Lars Kirsch, are you looking forward to AEW Double or Nothing? I am. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it when it first airs. It really depends. But I would like to check it out. I still have yet to watch All In, to be honest. But I intentionally didn't watch that one live because Notre Dame football was on, and Notre Dame football takes precedence over basically anything. Ken, is it crazy that many top talents are leaving WWE? I guess the politics are more brutal than WCW, which is a little crazy. Ryan Armstrong, where was Sheamus on SmackDown last week? There was an article that he was either injured or I don't know. I didn't get a chance to read it, but hopefully it helps Cesaro a little bit if they ever decide to split up the bar. I think the bar have had their run. They can go on to be singles guys. They've been a tag team now for almost 3 years. Hard to believe. 42nd Street Matthew. It's almost like Corbin is a heel that's doing his job and getting legit heat. Yeah, imagine that. This is why I think they should run with Corbin as a top guy and put him in the main event spot. And I don't get it either. Why so many people hate Corbin? I've always liked Corbin. He gets great heat. His finishers are awesome, and he's got a presence about him. He has an awesome theme. It's like, what is there to not like about Baron Corbin? Because he dresses strange. It's like, who cares? Crying out loud, Dusty Rhodes wore polka dots, and he was one of the greatest talents in wrestling history. Don't tell me because how somebody dresses that they're not over or whatever the case may be. All right, as you can see from the last live stream I did, I have different text up here. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/luckatthedraw, go subscribe to that. You'll get a fancy little graphic popping up here if you do it during the live show. I have a lot of new stuff over there. I'm uploading more of my backyard wrestling organization stuff over there. I'm starting to upload my sarcastic commentary series, which I'm hoping to bring back. Just depends on how popular it is. Also, my Luck at the Draw game show stuff is over there. Lots of variation. It's not all wrestling. Aaron is asking who's going to spin the wheel and win a T-shirt. You know, I was practicing spinning this several times before we went live here, and I was trying to make sure the wheel wasn't rigged because for the life of me, I was unable to land on T-shirt for a while. I did a few times, but I was like, man, nobody's won a shirt yet. Of course, I haven't had a whole lot of spins, but there are 3 spots on here for T-shirts. It's very possible, especially to get one for a $10 spin. Mick Doherty, get your money up, Aaron. Lars Kirsch, how tall are you? I am just shy of 6 foot tall. I'm going back a couple comments. Ken says Corbin is a good performer, an okay talker, but he produces heat with his Denny's outfit. And Corbin produces heat by defeating a beloved Hall of Famer. I don't hate at all that he beat Angle. In fact, I was pushing for it. Because Angle beating Corbin in his final match does nothing for either guy. So Corbin being able to say that he retired Kurt Angle and beat him in his final match is wonderful for him. Let's see. Ken says he's surprised Caitlyn isn't in the house, and I was about to say she is at work. She told us. Ken, Cherry is the big Cass in no DQ. Am I really taller than everybody in no DQ? I'm not that tall. I'm the tallest person in my family, but am I really taller than everybody? I have to look back at the picture we took, Aaron, when you were actually here. I didn't realize if you were taller than me or not. I'm pretty sure I'm slightly taller than Jeff. The real AC, hey, how you doing? Just talking about everybody's heights. I don't know how tall Cass is. Jerry and Cass are taller. I kind of figured at least Cass was. Wasn't sure about Jerry. Ken, Cherry, don't get me wrong. I think Samoa Joe would be a perfect opponent, despite not a lot of young fans know their history. For Cindy, is Jerry Big G? No, they're 2 different people. Who are you talking about as far as Joe being an opponent for Ken? Cass is 6'3" and Jerry is 6'1". So Cass is Big Cass. There you go. I kind of figured just by looking at him, Cass was taller than me. Didn't know Jerry was 6'1". So I'm up there. I'm in the upper echelon of tall people with no DQ. Joe would have been a good opponent, last opponent for Kurt Angle. Yeah, but here's the thing. Kurt Angle was not the Kurt Angle of like 2006. Unfortunately, he couldn't move as well as he could have. If it would have been 2006 Angle, yeah, him and Joe would have torn it up. But it was 2019 Kurt Angle. The real AC, the bad news is Double or Nothing isn't for another month. Yeah. As Nathan was said, yeah. Is that a Luke Harper reference? Steve OJ, will Becky drop one of the titles for Raw or SmackDown, or will they eventually be unified? They're not going to be unified. I think Becky will defend the title. I think she'll beat Lacey Evans. I'm not sure who she's going to face on SmackDown. I feel like whoever wins Money in the Bank is going to be the person who splits up the titles, depending on which show they decide to cash in on. Because if they cash in on a pay-per-view, that's going to lead to a lot of confusion. Not that cashing in on a Raw or SmackDown would be any easier, but it'd be a little clearer. The real AC, the good news is Impact Wrestling Rebellion is next week. Oh, there you go. 42nd Street Matthew. I saw an interview with Kurt where he said his body stiffened up and lost a lot because they waited so long to actually put him in the ring. Yeah, because they didn't put him in until they needed him for the replacement for the Shield. So he didn't have enough opportunity to warm up. Anthony Alamondo says Rondy versus Rondy. I tried to say Ronda and Becky in the same thing. I said Rondy. Ronda versus Becky rematch. Ronda is apparently taking some time off from WWE, so you probably won't see that for a while. Ken says since Liv Morgan is drafted to SmackDown, the Riot Squad has to split. Yeah, because Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan are still on Raw. So that'll probably benefit all three of them, honestly. I think the Riot Squad, as far as a unit, ran their course. So now it's time to see what they can do as singles. Ken says, I think Ruby Riott would be a solid solo performer. I'm interested to see how all three of them interact. They might have Ruby and Sarah continue being the Riot Squad, or they might separate Ruby and put Sarah with the Viking Experience. Fantastic name, let me tell you. Ken says, it's like seeing Bray Wyatt blossom as a solo performer. Wyatt did a fine job by himself. Hey, he was WWE champion. What's up, Ken? B Team should join the New Day next week on SmackDown. I think they're still on Raw. They haven't been on there forever, and they're former Raw Tag Team Champions. What's up, Wrestling with Kobe? How you doing? And Cindy says she refused to call the War Raiders a new name. And you'd love to see Sarah Logan be the new manager of the Viking Experience. Yeah, I mean, Sarah Logan is married to Ray Rowe. So that's that'd be an easy move for them. And the name is terrible. It's so bad. The Berserkers, which was another rumor name for them, would have been a little better. But then you figure they would have made them chant, Huss, Huss, Huss. The No DQ Experience. I don't know if you guys follow Rift. You probably do follow Rift on social media. He posted the list of names that we use in our messenger chat. Wrestling with Kobe. Which brand do you think benefited? I think each benefited in their own way. I would like to see NXT get in on the Superstar Shakeup. Send some guys down to NXT that could really use it. I don't know why they brought EC3 up. I think that was a complete waste, just taking him from NXT when he was barely there. Boston Punk saying hello during my weekly hour of bliss when my wife is at work and my kids are at karate lessons. Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Boston Punk. That's like naming Kairi Hojo and Asuka Chan as the Oriental Experience. Well, they could be the new Orient Express, I guess. Jinder Maharaja. Roman Reigns should join New Day next week on SmackDown Live. And Steve OJ said they would need to bring in John Nord as the original Berserker. Yeah, if he didn't get arrested for a DUI. The real AC says don't really care about EC3. Well, nobody's had any reason to. He hasn't done anything other than have a segment where Ambrose made fun of him, which was some of Ambrose's best work in months. Wrestling with Kobe. Any early predictions for SummerSlam? It's going to be in Toronto. That's a prediction. It's a solid prediction because that's exactly what's going to happen. As far as matches go, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what direction they could go because you have to factor in potential injuries and possibly there's so much to figure out what could possibly happen. Ken said, "Did you cringe as Kevin Owens as the new Big E?" I didn't. I enjoyed Kevin Owens. I thought it was funny. That's like seeing Arn Anderson dressed up as a clown. No, not necessarily. I mean, Kevin Owens is a funny guy. If you watch his PWG stuff, watch his stuff with the Young Bucks. I mean, he was just as ridiculous then. Kevin Owens is an entertainer as well as he is a wrestler. So I didn't think it was like a downgrade and everything. I mean, crying out loud, Kofi's the WWE champion. Being a part of the New Day is actually kind of a big deal right now. Brandon, No DQ should do retro reviews. I remember back in the day, No DQ had a UFC section. What happened to that? I feel MMA is taking a lot of my attention lately that used to be all pro wrestling. You'd have to ask Aaron that. I'm wondering if it was not generating a lot of traffic talking about UFC. That's very possible. I don't know if anybody on our staff is as big into UFC that could actually do a discussion show about it. I'm not personally. Not that I don't watch UFC, but I don't have the time to keep up with everything. All right. Well, there you go. There's your answer from Rift. Um, the real AC's opinion on Art Barr, the master of the Frog Splash, Art Barr, former tag team partner of Eddie Guerrero, which is how Eddie got the Frog Splash. If you watch Eddie's documentary, um, I have not seen as much with Art Barr. My like '80s wrestling knowledge is limited because I've only seen like a handful of stuff from the AWA, um, and probably less from other territories. So I need to go back and watch some of his stuff. 42nd Street Matthew. I've said this a million times before, but EC3 is my guy, and it just pisses me off what they've done with him, especially after his Impact run. Yeah, he was fantastic in Impact. They gave him a great run. I think EC3 was destined for good things in NXT. I think they called him up too early because he hadn't established himself as EC3 in NXT, and then they just bring him up. Or maybe he just pissed off somebody backstage. I don't know the answer. Ken, I prefer Kevin Steen as a serious, vicious heel like he did in Toronto. Remember when he said there's no better city than Montreal? Yeah, but you have to remember, Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens, um, is good at pretty much anything he does. So that's why I think he can be a very good serious character. He can be a very good funny and sarcastic character, and he's talented in the ring. So anything he does, I'm going to enjoy. Jinder Maharaja, Forgotten Sons changed their names as NCIS Ransack. Okay. Cindy has little to no interest in MMA. And Ken says, I hope Brock leaves wrestling and stays a UFC competitor. Well, that's what he's talking about, so why not? I didn't know Art Barr had a criminal history. I'll have to check it out. I don't know if I still have the Eddie DVD. I gave away a lot of my DVDs because I had the network and a lot of the stuff was on there. EC3 is teaching us this guy, yes. We're very aware. MMA is fun, but I enjoy wrestling far more. MMA is all right. Like if it's on, I'll watch it, but it's not something I will seek out unless there's a fight that I'm interested in seeing. I know Mayweather and what's his face, McGregor, are talking about doing an octagon fight. That might be fun to watch. Boston Punk says, I want to see Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock back in WWE. That's the extent of my MMA interest. I agree with you on Steve Blackman. I loved Steve Blackman back in the day. The Hardcore Championship for him was wonderful. And Steve Blackman's such a badass. Pennsylvania guy, too. I'm surprised Mahal isn't drafted to SmackDown. It's the place where he won the WWE title. Yeah, I'm not sure what the heck they're doing with Jinder Mahal. If anything, they might not need him because they're like, hey, his whole WWE Championship reign didn't generate a lot of interest. Boston Punk says team, single, Rumble appearance, anything. You know, the last time we saw Steve Blackman on WWE TV was 2007, 15th anniversary Battle Royal, which was kind of cool because he looked exactly the freaking same 6 years after he left. Steve-O says, Mahal sucks. I'm sorry the experiment was a flop. Yeah, it kind of was. Back a couple comments. Matthew says, speaking of MMA dudes, Dan Severn was on MLW Battle Riot 2 a week or two back. I didn't realize Dan Severn was still around. Wow. I believe he got Big Pop too, because he was part of the Attitude Era too, for a brief thing. Baron Corbin should bring back his Superhuman theme 2016 attire. I like his theme now. I think his theme now is awesome. His theme back then was all right. His theme now is so much better. As far as attire, I want to see him in something different if he's going to get somewhat of a push. But maybe they figure, hey, his constable attire is getting him more heat. I don't know. Johnny ba 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 ba. Are they trying to make Baron Corbin a top heel? I hope so. I'd like to see it. I think Corbin has done enough to deserve a run at some championships. Yeah, he was U.S. champion, but I think he could have a solid main event feud against Seth Rollins. Let's see. Where are we at? Severn is another PA dude. He looked like a monster next to a lot of those guys. I guess I didn't realize Dan Severn was from Pennsylvania also. So this Pennsylvania guy is kicking some ass in WWE. Ken says, Johnny, you like his Denny's outfit? Corbin is not a Denny's part-timer. I don't know. Maybe he'll mix it up, but it's Corbin. If people hate it so much, it's like, hey, they hate it. I'm a bad guy. I'm going to keep doing it and piss them off more. Simple things. All right, so caught up on the comments for the most part. Going to advertise these few things right here. There we go. YouTube.com/LuckAtTheDraw, my channel. Streamlabs.com/LuckAtTheDraw1 if you want to send in a donation. Your name will pop up right over top of my face, like right about here. It'll come up with a little graphic saying how much you donated and your name and stuff. And then you'll get something over here. Here, hold on. Right there. There'll be a graphic to pop up there. And then, here we go. Half price spins. Take advantage of this. I'm not going to do this very often. I normally do $20 spins for super chats or for Streamlabs donations. You guys should get in on that because you can get Pro Wrestling Tees t-shirt for pretty cheap. Melvin Jackson, how you doing? I'm explaining all the text around my face. Johnny, blah, 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 blah. Corbin should cross-dress as Vito. I'm not even going to go into that. Because I don't think that did Big Vito any favors, personally. Wrestling with Kobe. I could see EC3, Andrade Cien Almas, and Bobby Roode in suit-wearing stable for Raw. That would be okay. I think you throw Corbin in there, too. They could be quite a stable. Ken says, if Corbin was a troll character, circa Greg Cherry in a Wrestling Trivia Challenge promo, he would be a top heel. You think my promos are trolling? I mean, they kind of are. I mean, what am I at now? 405 days as Trivia Champion? With Season 7 looming? Johnny says, Corbin, Roode, Lashley, McIntyre, EC3 should set up a heel faction that is unstoppable. They kind of did that, but I mean, they kind of are doing that with Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre, but it's not really effective, and they're not really a stable. They just kind of team together and lose. The real AC, which great wrestler should have been WWE champion? Piper, Jake the Snake Roberts. If nothing else, Jake should have been at least Intercontinental champion. 42nd Street Matthew. Wait, I'm wrong about Severn. He's from Michigan. Thought he had a school in Pennsylvania. Might be mixing him up with Blackman. Okay, well, get back to me and let me know. Steve-O, when's the next season of Wrestling Trivia Challenge? I'll ask for one last chance at redemption from my Season 3, Episode 2 stuff. No title shot, of course, but would like to be an attorney or a one-off. I'd be fine facing you. That's up to Rift, ultimately. Still, Jeff, Aaron, and I are still discussing what to do with Season 7. We've thrown ideas around. Nothing's set in stone. But it is coming. And it needs to come because I'm itching to defend the title again. 42nd Street Matthew. I think at this point in his career, EC3 is too good on the mic to be part of a faction unless they're all his lackeys. Well, there was before SmackDown last week. EC3 worked a dark match, and Drake Maverick was his manager, which goes back to their Impact Wrestling days. So maybe they were starting something, but his segment on Raw did him absolutely no favors. Jinder says Baron Corbin should have a broken Baron Corbin persona. I don't think that would work for him. The Real IC says which wrestlers never should have been WWE champion. CM Punk. Because if CM Punk were never WWE champion, would he still be competing? It did. I don't think his 434-day title reign did him any favors. Because where is he now? Just bitter all the time. He's basically the get off my lawn grandpa. Extreme close up. Whoa. I'm gonna eat if you guys aren't got so many spins. As far as wrestlers, also who should have never been WWE champion, Jinder. Jinder probably shouldn't have been WWE champion. It was a cool story. Like, he did kind of come out of nowhere to earn the spot and then beat Orton for the title. And then kept beating Orton. And he beat Nakamura, too, twice, which was ridiculous. I think that was what really killed Shinsuke Nakamura. And not necessarily his heel turn and feud with AJ. Because Jinder beating Nakamura twice, at least one of those clean, did him absolutely no favors. And then Mahal lost the title on an episode of SmackDown to AJ. I don't know. Wrestling with Kobe. You could do a Rumble type match or Survivor Series type match for Wrestling Trivia Challenge. I don't know how we do that. That'd be a lot of people on one show. Jinder Maharaja. Orton should go to Raw to recreate Legacy with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. I'm not feeling that one. Legacy had its time. It worked with Orton and Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, but I don't think it would work now. Realize 2017 was not Nakamura's year, and I really like him. 2018 wasn't really kind to him either, and he won the Rumble and the U.S. title. The main roster has not been kind to Nakamura at all. And it sounds terrible, but if he could cut better promos, which is really just a language barrier thing for him, and not really fair to judge based on his in-ring talent, but that's the way the WWE is. Miz and the B team could be a babyface faction feuding against Shane. The real IC says the main roster has not been kind to any NXT call-up. Disagree. Alexa Bliss. Carmella. Charlotte. It's been kind to the women call-ups for the most part. As far as men's call-ups, Kevin Owens. Steve-O says, sounds good. I have to go, but great show. You all have a great day night. Oh, you're leaving already. Not even 6 o'clock yet. I really figured I'd have more people jumping on the half-price spins. I really did. It's an opportunity of a lifetime to see me sing or dance or be a doofus for half the cost of a normal spin. Yep, Steve-O called out. I'm fine facing them, Rift. Set it up. I don't care. Do a special episode, me versus Steve-O, if we're not starting season 7 soon. These pretzels are kind of stale. The real AC, what was the last truly great year in WWE history? 2008 or 2011? 2011 was solid. I think 2014 was a good one. I know it would be a massacre. Why do you think I won it? Yeah, 2014 was good. I'm trying to think. 2015 was kind of a disaster. Although WrestleMania 31 was fantastic. Aaron Riff's asking what you guys think about Tag Team Wrestling Trivia Challenge season. That was one of the ideas we talked about is, do you want me to discuss the idea, Aaron, or do you want to keep that under wraps? Because I can go into detail on what we talked about. I don't want to tease anything without overstepping boundaries. Wrestling with Kobe 2016. 2016 was decent, too. I mean, I had the debut of AJ Styles. AJ won the WWE Championship. WrestleMania wasn't great that year. Royal Rumble was probably the best pay-per-view that year. I'm trying to think. SummerSlam 2016. All right, I don't want to go into detail about Rift. Just gauging interest. And we can talk about more off of. AJ Styles was the best thing about WWE in 2016. I agree. Wrestling. Or Real AC. And Wrestling with Kobe, the rise of NXT really happened in 2014 and 2015. 2015 was probably the best year for NXT, not the main roster. Because you had Finn Balor, the rise of Finn Balor. You had the championship reign of Sasha Banks and all the fantastic women's matches that happened in 2015. So good. WrestleMania 32 was one of the worst manias in history. Probably not as bad as 9 or 11, but not great. Jinder says Roman Reigns should create a Samoan Aces and Eights with the Usos and Sim Snuka. Sim Snuka hasn't worked for the company in years. Uh, 42nd Street Matthew. I complain a lot about WWE and crappy booking, but AJ had a great 2016, quite possibly the best rookie year in WWE history. Possibly. I'd argue that Angle had a better rookie year. Wrestling with Kobe. SmackDown was great. SmackDown was entertaining. I did get to check it out this week. Curtis Butler. There he is. YG Cherry. Young genius. Wrestling Trivia Channel champion for 405 days. The Lone Wolf. 2019 is the year of the non-WWE companies to take over. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see how well Double or Nothing does. The Real AC, 11, 9, 2, and 13 were all bad. The thing with 13 is 13 at least had Bret Hart and Austin. One of the best WrestleMania matches in the history of the show. The rest of 13 was a crapshoot. But that match was fantastic. 11 didn't really have any redeeming qualities. 9 didn't have any redeeming qualities, really. And to be honest, it's been so long since I've watched 2 that I have to go back and watch it to see. Wrestling with Kobe. Vince is best with competition. I hope AEW does well. I really do. AEW and Defiant Wrestling and Impact Wrestling Takeover. I really hope that I want wrestling to succeed as a whole. So when WWE's competition does well and that makes WWE have to up their game, it's better for all of us. So I hope AEW does incredible. The Real IC, the 13 also had the Chicago Street Fight, which was underrated. And I forgot about the Chicago Street Fight, too. The Legion of Doom and Ahmed versus the Nation. That was a good one. 42nd Street Matthews essentially agreeing with me on 13. 13 was crap except for Austin and Brett. And that match, strangely enough, for as craptastic as a pay-per-view as 13 was, it had one match that really shifted from New Generation to Attitude Era. Wrestling with Kobe says, you should do Cherry versus Neri for Trivia Challenge. You know, I would like to face Fame. In fact, when I put him in the tournament, I was kind of hoping he'd win so we'd face each other. But he didn't make it past David, so... Steve-O says he'd be up for a tag team edition of WTC. The only tough part about it is about doing the tag team one, which I'm for. I'm completely for the tag team one. Is getting everybody all set up at the same time. Because it was tough enough trying to do it with getting 2 people on. So imagine trying to do it for 4. But I'm for a tag team edition of Wrestling Trivia Challenge. Baron Corbin to AEW confirmed. Scott Salas just on next week's spoiler. Roman Reigns is wrestling Kofi Kingston, and Samoa Joe's going to lose U.S. title to Braun. Well, Joe and Braun are probably going to feud. I think Joe should beat Braun, honestly, because Braun hasn't done anything special lately. I know he just won the Battle Royal, but who cares? The last 2 he had to eliminate were guys from freaking Saturday Night Live. The Real IC says WrestleMania 2 also had a classic between JYD and Tito Santana versus the Funks. You mean Moolah versus Velvet McIntyre doesn't make that list? Matthew, I agree. Braun was over and they completely screwed it up. Totally screwed that up. So bad. Because they turned him heel. And we actually talked about that on Cherry versus Neri. Steve-O, I could get one friend in the same room as me on my Skype. Obviously, I know that's not easy for everyone because some live in different states and such. Yeah, like I said, we have to generate interest to see who would be interested in participating in the tag team Wrestling Trivia Challenge thing. But if it's popular, there's a lot of people that want to do it. If they got to choose their partners, I'm sure they'd like to. I don't think Jeff's available as a partner, by the way. Curtis Butler says, who did EC3 piss off? I have no idea. Sam Littleton says, did they do pre-tapes of Raw and SmackDown? I don't think so. Unless I missed something. Riff, did they tape an episode of Raw and SmackDown? I don't think they did. So I was just checking out my WWE Champions Discord. Got a feud tonight. Anybody who plays WWE Champions. Steve-O says Braun should have gone to SmackDown, but he's pretty unrepairable at this point. It's going to take a long while. Yeah, why he didn't go to SmackDown is beyond me. I felt like that would have helped him, but they'll probably try and repair him. Ken says, at least the Miss WrestleMania was just a battle royal. The McIntyre versus Moolah match was very sloppy. It didn't last long, I don't think, because didn't Velvet McIntyre have like a wardrobe malfunction and she couldn't keep going? But the WrestleMania 25 Battle Royal was a disaster and a half because it was a women's Battle Royal won by a man. It was so stupid. All right. Johnny Where's Ryback? Probably still working the indies. I actually got to see him at an indie show a couple years ago. We made fun of CM Punk together. True story. I have shaved your beard. Did you lose a bet? Well, the beard was me losing the bet. Check my Twitter. I actually got a like from Kofi Kingston about my beard when I had it. Because I said I lost a bet because I bet against Kofi and he liked that post. So, good stuff. Ken says Ryback and CM Punk sure love to talk about each other. Yeah, they do. Strangely enough. Tilt this down even more. The Real AC says The Rock was in Legends of WrestleMania, but not Kane, while Kane was in SVR 2009 and not The Rock. Paradox? Not really, because you could import the roster. So, probably not that big a deal. 40-second stream, Matthew. I saw a tweet from Ryback today where he says WWE needs to publicly explain how or why the wrestlers are independent contractors. Yeah. It's probably so they don't have to pay health insurance, which is kind of ridiculous. But I don't run the company. I can't make that decision. Ken says, if I got a compliment from the WWE champion, that tells a lot. Yeah. I mean, I got a like off the post. He didn't comment on it, but hey, he saw it. So that is pretty cool that the WWE champion liked the post I made on Twitter. All right, guys. Almost an hour deep into this podcast. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm delusional. Waiting for dinner. Right down here. See, I can't point because it's so different. I'm not sure where I'm at. YouTube.com/luckofthedraw. My YouTube channel. Go subscribe there. I have lots of fun stuff there. Streamlabs.com/luckofthedraw1. If you send in a Streamlabs, if you send in a donation, even as low as $1. Live chat. Yeah, I'm all over the place. If you send in a Streamlabs, you'll get a fancy graphic to pop up on this video. And then you'll have everybody notice in the video that, hey, you donated something from Streamlabs. Come on, take advantage of the half-price spins. Half-price spins, baby. I see you guys donated like $100, $200 to Rift. I'm a complete goof for $10. Curtis Butler, what are you eating? Pretzels. Because pretzels are delicious. I'm trying to hold off my appetite for dinner. Ken says, Johnny, I hope Rollins loses the title to McIntyre. Drew is built as a monster. I'd like to see McIntyre take the title from Rollins, but it probably won't happen immediately. The Real AC says, I saw a women's barbed wire death match in FMW, and it was pretty sickening. Ken says that the half-price spin's a rare thing or a monthly deal. I just figure it'd be something fun to do. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing the half-price things as a gimmick if nobody takes advantage of it. If somebody wants to start making me spin the wheel, then I might make it a common thing. Chris Butler says, hell, you have more viewers than Virtue. Different platform, too. He does his on his Facebook. I do one on a YouTube channel that has like 50,000 subscribers or 50,000 plus subscribers. Johnny says, gotta give Impact TNA props for surviving so long. They beat WCW in terms of longevity. They did. That's very true. They've been around for 17 years. WCW was not. WCW barely broke 10. But yeah, as far as the half-price spins go, I may keep it up. If more people take advantage of it, I may just make it $10. If nobody's going to take advantage of it, be like, hey, but I tried to offer something nice. You didn't want it, so back up to 20. I would really like to do this, but you know, going back to the FMW stuff, I don't remember when I talked about this. It might have been the last live stream actually. I saw a death match, was like an electrified pool death match or something, and for whatever reason, somebody brought out like a scythe and like freaking gutted a person. Like just like stabbed him right in the gut, blood everywhere. It's like, why? This is wrestling. It's like, stop. Chase Game saying, thoughts on the War Raiders being the Viking experience? That's my thoughts. Ken says Megumi bled like Eddie circa Judgment Day. Yeah, I mean, that was a hard match to watch too, the Judgment Day one with Eddie and JBL. Because Eddie, like, cut himself too deep. Diev says wrestling or torture porn. I mean, FMW, if you're into that stuff, is basically the latter. The Vargas with a $1.99 super chat. How'd you first meet Aaron Rift? I first started watching the No DQ stuff back when a certain three-letter show was around. I'm not sure I'm allowed to mention on here. But I became a fan of that many, many years ago. And then I started talking to Jeff. And Jeff and I became good friends. And I eventually got connected with the No DQ team a couple, 2-3 years ago. And Rift was actually at my house for Backlash 2016 when AJ Styles became WWE champion. So that was pretty cool. So that's the first time I met him in person. But I had talked to him prior to that. Chris Butler says, what tag team would you like to see in WWE that's not the Young Bucks? I'm not sure the answer to that because I don't keep up with the indies scene. I don't keep up with Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor. I don't really know how to answer that. The Real AC says, think that's bad. I saw Kevin Sullivan cut into a guy's arm with a surgical scalpel in SMW, which was disgusting. That doesn't surprise me with Kevin Sullivan whatsoever. Ken says, you can't watch it. I don't know if I can stomach it. I'd rather watch Cherry. Well, good that you'd rather watch me instead of a death match. I watched a documentary about the King of the Deathmatch tournament. I think I've brought this up before, too. And I was able to sit through it, strangely enough. Because normally I don't have a stomach for those kind of things, but I was able to sit through it. It's amazing and kind of disturbing what people put themselves through. Ken says, since we talked about Owens earlier, do you prefer serious heels or goofy heels? I'm more into Arn Anderson or Kurt Angle during his feud with Cena. combination, because I love serious heels, like badass heels that'll just beat the crap out of people. But then you look at the Iconics, who are goofy heels, and it just works so well for them. So it really depends on the personality of the person. Because sometimes a goofy heel can work, and sometimes a serious heel can work. Kurt Angle did both. 42nd Street Matthew says, I forget which CZW match it was, but a guy took a weed whacker to the gut and blood sprayed. I think I've seen that. I wasn't sure if it was CZW or if it was, I was going to say IWA Mid-South, but I don't think that's right either. But I guess if it was CZW, then... He said that doc was on Vice. It was really good. Super stupid, but fascinating. Yeah, the fact... I mean, hardcore matches are fine. Hardcore matches are one thing. But when you just straight up have... Sorry, that's Jamie. My wife, because she's making dinner. Ugh. What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. Sorry. The real IC says at least it's not Abdullah the Butcher smashing a coffee cup over Hannibal's head, leaving a nasty spot of bloody exposed flesh on his head. This is good stuff to talk about right before dinner. The New Day are silly. Yeah, New Day was fantastic as heels. "42nd Street Matthews says, every time I think about that Vice doc, I think about the guy that got like a spiked can or something nailed into his head and had to have it slowly peeled out of his skull. Wasn't he the one running it? I'm pretty sure it was the guy running it who had that happen. But here, what was I talking about? Oh, okay. I know what I was talking about. I got my train of thought back. Like I said, hardcore matches are fine. But death matches, just for the sake of having death matches, are completely stupid. I never... And I've watched some death matches. I don't know why they do them. Like, they did a Queen of the Death Match tournament. If you can believe that. And one of them was like a Taipei broken glass fists match or something. They like put their fists in the broken glass and just punched each other like in the head with broken glass. It's like, why? Kurt says the Dark Side of Wrestling doc series on Viceland is very great. I need to check that out. Ken says the only death match I like is Funk and Foley because Terry Funk is a ring general. Jerry talking about the match with the Rotten Brothers. It might have been them. But there was one that I think it was Lufisto and somebody else. Like women did that Taipei broken glass death match. All right, so an hour deep into this, still waiting for somebody to take advantage of the half-price spins. And yes, I'm pointing with a pretzel because it's my best guide because I don't know where I'm pointing on this thing. Half-price spins, $10. I normally do 20. You can super chat it or you can Streamlabs it. Streamlabs.com/look at the draw one, which I really need to move that because I didn't realize the No DQ logo was over until just now. It's been that way for an hour. So yeah, I need to fix that somehow. 42nd Street Matthew, you should be able to find the Bruiser Brody and Macho Man Elizabeth episodes online legally. Found the Montreal Screwjob episode last night through other means. Ken says, Curtis, I need to check out the Brody documentary. I think Jose Gonzalez should go to jail. The Real IC says IWA Mid-South is terrible, and the fact that Ian Rotten is not in jail perplexes me, especially after the Mike Levy incident. And Ken says, I heard Ian Rotten is literally not liked by anyone. So even less people like him than like Bubba Dudley. Diev, why was the Lesnar-Rollins match so short? Because Lesnar wanted to get out of there? I'm guessing. I don't know. They want the shock factor? Could be 100 reasons, but Lesnar-Rollins was never going to be a 25-minute classic. Lesnar did his job, and he left. I'm going to finish this bag of pretzels here. Diev says Lesnar must win the prize for giving the least fucks. Very possible. Cruz Butler's asking if I could do a Terry Funk impression. Not really. I've never really tried to do a Funk impression. I've tried to do a Flair impression, and that's not very good. My Savage is better than anything. 42nd Street Matthew. It was off of Daily Motion before I got to it. Some other site. Regardless, good stuff. Cornette talked about it on his podcast this week, too. There's so many wrestling podcasts that I need to listen to. But there's almost too many to listen to in a day. Johnny says, should WWE get writers from great shows like Sopranos and Breaking Bad to improve the product? No, they need to get people who have been in the wrestling business to help with the shows. Because shows like that don't necessarily translate into the wrestling world. I mean, we've seen how well, like, sitcom writers do with WWE. And some of the promos that are kind of cringeworthy. I don't think bringing in drama writers is going to help anything. Diev says, I'm fine with Lesnar doing a couple of appearances in the year. He doesn't need to be a champion. It's a waste of a championship. He kind of is. I don't think they need Lesnar anymore at all, personally. Curtis Butler wants me to do my Savage impression. I'll tell you what, if somebody does a spin, I know impressions isn't on here, but I'll do an impression of Savage if I get a spin. Doesn't matter what it lands on. I'll bust out my Savage and read a couple comments in the Macho Man's voice. I gotta get a spin first. 42nd Street Matthew, do you think it's writers or is Vince changing shit at the last minute? From what I read, that's why Road Dogg quit as SmackDown lead writer. I don't know why they don't have anybody. I think they actually had job posting for people looking for long-term storyline continuity to be in effect. Like, just to make sure the storylines stay consistent and or carried over for long periods of time. But when you change stuff every week, it's kind of hard to do that. I know it's hard personally, having tried to book a show before, and that wasn't even like a full card. I tried booking a show. It was ridiculously difficult. So I can't imagine the stress these guys are under. Of course, they get paid. I can't imagine the stress they're under trying to produce a 2 or 3 hour show every single week. It's insane. The Real IC says it doesn't help that Carlos Colon apparently defended Jose Gonzalez in the trial, and it ultimately resulted in a not guilty verdict. I feel like I know this trial, but I don't completely remember all the details. Ken says, I respected Colon as a patriarch, but I don't get why he would defend that scumbag. And Tony Atlas might be my new hero. I hope he slaps the daylights out of Brian Blair. Good old B. Brian Blair. I never really saw a lot of Brian Blair stuff anyway. Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Real IC says glad to see Carlito's doing fine. Yeah, I mean he'll probably be in season 3 of Glow. As far as I know, that was the last thing he was doing. So, while I have a minute, first this one. Cherry, we know that Sheiky Baby loves Brian Blair, as he loves to slap the taste out of him. Sheiky Baby. Slap on the camel clutch. Make him humble. So I've thought about, and I don't know if I'm going to do this or not, possibly bringing some game streaming to this channel. Because I know, like, I do this talk. I know I, like, offered to do the spins and whatnot, which, still a chance. Still a chance. Got, like, 50 minutes left, because I'm done at 7. I'm done at 7 Eastern. But, I don't know. I might stream some wrestling games. I might play some No Mercy. I know Twitch is available for that kind of stuff, but just to see how everything goes. I need to pick up the old SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. I like to play through that as my created character. I don't know. What would you guys think? Would you guys like to see me do some gaming on the channel? Because it is a little different than wrestling discussion. I know there's a ton of wrestling discussion on here. Just trying to think of different things that go on. 42nd Street Matthew says, I forgot if I asked this before, but have you read the Guy Evans Nitro book? Best non-autobiographical wrestling book I've ever read. I don't think I have. Ken says, Know Your Role is good, but the loading screens tear down my love. Yeah. The loading screens in that mode do take a while. Greg, you should play Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I don't think I have that game. Johnny says, what is your favorite first-person shooter game? Probably GoldenEye. I don't play a whole lot of them, honestly. I'm stuck with wrestling games, sports games, like Mario games, game show games. Portal. Does Portal count as a first-person shooter? Because I mean, it's not really a shooting game per se, but Chris Butler says Zane does that. Well, I beat him in Trivia Challenge, so I should be able to do it too. The Real IC says I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican, basically Conan and Los Boricuas. Orale, arriba la raza. Forgive me, that was terrible. Uh, 42nd Street Matthew says, old school, I'm a perfect dark guy. Nowadays, Vermintide 2 is the jam. I could look at my video game collection. I'll move the wheel since nobody's doing any spins now. Let me see. Ugh. Come over here. I got like all sorts of stuff. Heck, I got like this is Interest Rift, I'm sure. World Series of Poker, PlayStation 2. I have like all my old school games up here. I got NFL Blitz. I got NCAA football. I got Monopoly for the Xbox 360, but I could just play that on Twitch. I also have this one, Rift. If you can see it, hold on. There you go. World Championship Poker with the criminal, Howard Lederer. And of course, I got wrestling games all over the place. And that's just PS2. I got even more games than that, too. Chris Butler says, Rift, donate to spin the wheel. I'd like to spin the wheel. Rift, you get back some of this money anyway. What do you care? Of course, let me see. I've got some classic NES games, too. Here's a good one. Classic. Steel Cage Challenge. I also have the plug-and-play one, too. Where'd that go? Right here. I picked this up. It's a little weird to see Warrior in this game because he wasn't originally. Razor Ramon's in this game, too, which is completely anachronistic. Because he wasn't around during that time. So it's a little weird to see Razor there. Diab says, I've been watching you guys for years, but I can never catch your live streams. Well, I know Jeff's going to start doing live streams for Talk Wrestling here next week. I'm probably moving back to Sundays, because that's when it seems like people are available. What else do I got here? I have... Of course, I got the classics, you know. No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000. I'd like to do a WrestleMania 2000 series, just because WrestleMania 2000 is a solid game. I think it's kind of underrated because, you know, No Mercy is awesome. But WrestleMania 2000 is so good. I don't know. I also have the classic Sonic the Hedgehog, which, believe it or not, I still never beat. I started playing through it and I never got back into it. I'm just showing you guys video games now because why not? What else do I got here? Ready to Rumble Boxing. Realize it says Diggity Dog. Sacco! Yes, the No Mercy music. Classic. Like I was mentioned earlier, GoldenEye and 64. Ken says, Sonic 1 is a pretty easy game. You might beat it now. It's kind of like Super Mario 2. I've never played it till a couple years ago. And I don't know. It's GG Vision says, I better see Perfect Dark. You're not going to. I don't think I've ever played it. I do have some other games in here, too. I'm a game show nerd, so naturally that's going to be in there. As is Jeopardy. But I got a lot of good games in here that I got to play. So it all depends really on what you guys want to see. I'd like to do some gaming on the channel. Ken says, I'm showing my exquisite game collection. I can't show them all. I have drawers of them that I don't have to pull out. And there's a lot of wrestling. There's a lot of game shows in there. There's Mario parties for the N64 classics. Yeah, so there you go. I don't know, something different. Something different that I think would be good to start streaming on the channel. Not that I want this to become another up, up, down, down, but maybe Rift will watch it because it'll be on his channel. Watching people game. GG Vision, how are you with Smash Brothers? The few times I played it, I was okay, but I just button mashed. That's another game I need to get for the collection. There's so many I need to get, but I need to go to like a vintage store to pick those up. But the Smash Brothers series is really expensive. Because I know with any Mario or Sonic game, especially in the vintage stores, they supercharge for those because they're incredibly popular games, which makes sense, but kind of sucks when it's like, I just want to spend $5 on a game. But sometimes you don't even get that deal with Amazon. Cameron Blackstar says, I think wrestling outside WWE has a spot in the community. WWE is okay. Game streaming would be fresh. Real AC says, what about Earthbound? There's a lot of games I haven't played, and that's among them. I know I'm uncultured. That I have a certain genre of games I play. I'm trying to crack my neck. Very stiff. Maybe I should drink some water instead of juice. But yeah, knocking stuff over. Also, I picked these up. I picked this up. Let's make sure it's not. There's glare on it ridiculously. There we go. SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. I talked to Travis about this yesterday, and I know Up Up Down Down does the GM mode, the Battle of the Brands, with this game, so I'm hoping to do the same with it. I also got 2008. I have 2007 in here too somewhere. Right here. 2007, arguably one of the best soundtracks they've ever had for the SmackDown game. So I do have a decent collection of games here. I'm trying to see what else I have. Ken says 2007 has a great soundtrack. Yeah, the soundtrack for 2007 is awesome. So good. Chris Butler says, we have a secret headquarters here for you gamers out there. I think that's going to be something I do is, it may not be live streams. It may be live streams. I don't know. I haven't determined. But, I don't know. Maybe I could do some live streaming on the channel for gaming. Just to be something, just to be different. The GM mode will probably be recorded, though, if Fame and I decide to do that. Real IC says, I got Here Comes the Pain, SVR, and SVR 2006 at GameStop for a low price. So that would have been years ago because they don't sell anything below PS3 now at GameStop, which sucks. There's not enough vintage stores around my area. I can go earlier than 2000, or the PS3, rather. But yeah, I do have SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. I have SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Cameron says, with gaming moving to all digital, I wonder how that will affect the prices of retro games. I don't know. I kind of hope that a lot of these consoles realize how good these older games are, and if they can get some licenses for them to sell them on the digital stores, they should do that. I don't know why they don't. AC says, I bet you use the buy two and get one free deal. Yeah, I was actually just in a GameStop today. That's why I brought it up. But yeah, I might I think that is something I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a WrestleMania 2000 series. I wonder if I should wipe the game clean though, and like move my character to. Do I have a memory card? I don't. It's not in here. I don't know where it's at. I need to look to see if I have a memory card before I wipe the. I completely wipe the game. But I would. I think I might do that. Do a WrestleMania 2000 series, just for something different. I know, I know. It wipe away all the progress I did, Matthew. But I do like the challenge of starting a game over. It would be fun to see that live. I might do it live. I don't know. I might do one or two of the gaming experiences live and see um, how it goes over. Because it's different than the wrestling discussion. Maybe. I'll have to see. I'll have to see how the gaming videos go over first before I do them live. Cameron says, we've seen a lot of backwards compatibility on Xbox and PS4. Hopefully Nintendo will do that. I'd love to play old stuff on the Switch. Yeah. Well, I've noticed Xbox is getting some of the old Final Fantasy games to download. I actually downloaded FF9. Haven't got to play it yet. But I don't know. I'm interested to see all the cross, I don't want to say cross promotion, but cross platform gaming that's coming. Because platform exclusive titles help the sales of one console, but I think it would be good for the gaming industry if games were across multiple platforms, like all of them. Real IC says, I love Final Fantasy VI more than Final Fantasy VII. You might be in the minority there. FF7 is good, even though I've never played it the whole way through. I don't know if anybody would want to watch a Final Fantasy VII series. That would take forever. All right, guys. I know I've been doing gaming discussion recently, just trying to get some ideas. I know one of you. I know one of you out there. One of you out there wants to get a spin on this wheel. I know that. I want to get a spin on this wheel. Big G. It's Big G's birthday today, and I want to give him a spin. So we'll give Big G a spin if I get another spin. I promised that I would do my Savage impression and read the comments in Savage's voice if I got a spin. I don't want to seem like I'm begging here, but I probably am. Half price spins. So, you can super chat them. You can Streamlabs them. Chris Butler is heading out. We'll see you later, Curtis. But you got all kinds of good stuff on here. All kinds of good stuff. That does not count for a spin, by the way. Cameron says platform exclusive stuff is going to be a thing of the past. I think only helps sell your system at the start of the new gen. Yeah, I get that. Cameron says half price spins, guys. Get them while they're hot. Yeah, I mean, I may not do this very often if nobody's going to take advantage of it. I thought it was being nice. I thought it was being nice offering the half price spins. Just $10, $10 super chat, $10 Streamlabs, either one. I don't care which one. I really don't care which one. Doesn't matter. But Ken says CAC. I got a question about FF6, but oh well. Ken, you'd already spent $5. What if you just got paid? You can spend 10 more. Get a spin. You can get a shirt. And it'd still be less than what you'd pay for a shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees, even with it on sale. Sweet, I'm gonna have some garlic bread with dinner. Need to get my reaction room peeps in here. They spend money like it's friggin' water. What other games do I have in here? I have games too on my 360. Camera says Pro Wrestling Tees is grossly overpriced. Hey, that's what I'm saying. $10. $10 could get you a spin on here. If you win a T-shirt, then I pay for basically the whole thing and the shipping. So you figure $10 for a shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees for one of my shirts. It's a good deal. It's worth a shot at least. I have games on the 360, or not the 360, on the Xbox One that I guess I could use my Twitch for, which is twitch.tv/Pensen Gaming, PENNSEN Gaming. So find me on there. You can go subscribe there if you want. Got just about another half hour on the stream. Not just wrestling talk this time, because I do that all the time. I like to mix things up sometimes. I mean, I love wrestling, obviously. Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. Camera says, if I had it, I'd take a spin. Yeah. Well, somebody's got to, right? Somebody's got to. You know you want to take the spin. And hey, for the price of a normal spin, you get 2 spins. So you could actually win like $50 worth of shirts for $20. That's not a bad deal. Heck, even if you get 1 spin, you'd still get it cheaper. Talking to all you guys out there. Diev says, I love FF6, but haven't played it in a few years. Yeah, Final Fantasy VI, I don't think I've played that one either. I've played FF7, I've played FF9 and beaten that one. Played FF10 and beat that one. I found out they're bringing Final Fantasy X to Xbox One as well, which is... that's why I saw at GameStop that I was really interested in, was FF10 for the Xbox One. Which I believe I have it. Yeah, it's right here. I have it for the PS2. I also have this classic for the PS2. Showdown Legends of Wrestling. Which seems great in theory, but this game is actually pretty terrible. I do have the better version of it, though. I do have Legends of Wrestling 2, which is actually a very good game. I enjoy this one. This is probably the best game of the series. Because Legends of Wrestling 1 was okay. 2 storyline mode is very good, in my opinion. Showdown is kind of terrible. It has commentary by Shivani, Zabisco, and Heenan, but the commentary by Heenan is post his throat surgery, so he doesn't sound very good. Which is not his fault. I mean, he had throat surgery. Showdown is pretty terrible. The hit detection is awful. It's very slow, very dragging. I don't know. This is another game I'd like to do a series on because their storyline mode is so in-depth. They have different stories you can compete in. And I also create a Randy Orton in this game, but for some reason, every time he shows up, he has red hair. And I don't get why. I think it's a glitch in the game. Or maybe it's just the hairstyle I give him. I don't know. I liked Legends of Wrestling 2, Ken. I enjoyed it a lot. It's probably the best one of the series. Also, this is in my game cabinet right here, my championship for the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship. I'm proud to have this for over a year now. I also have this, and I showed you the sequel version earlier. But I like playing the poker games for PS2. This one more so than World Series of Poker, I think. I think this one, I actually played this when my wife was out. She was at another state visiting family. And I actually played a couple hours of this, and I really had a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play poker. Haven't for a little bit now, but it's good times. Ken's asking if the gameplay is fluid and engaging in Legends of Wrestling 2. It's basically, it's similar to Legends of Wrestling 1 as far as the gameplay goes. And I think it's slightly improved too. Ken says, are you good at blackjack? I got questions about that. I've never played in a casino. I've never played blackjack. I think I would get, if I was on a roll, I would get too cocky and bet my money away. Or if I was frustrated, I'd spend more money. I try and stay away from the blackjack tables. But I do know how to play. I'm decent. But it's a game of luck, really. I once won like $400 online playing blackjack and then pissed it all away. Blackjack keeps kicking my ass, so that's why I have questions. Learn poker. There's a little more control in poker than there is blackjack. Blackjack, you're kind of at the mercy of who's sitting at the table and the order of the cards. Poker, you have a little bit more control. Let's see, what else do I have in here? I'm going to pull this drawer up here. Like when you got 15, I'm not sure whether to hit or stand. Depends what the other card is. If the other person's holding like a 6 or a 5 or something, I'd stay and hope they bust. Hope the dealer busts. Let's see here. I also have this. This is something I need to start playing again. In the same vein, this is a good game. World Poker Tour. Rift is probably popping at all the poker games I have. But they're so good. They're so good. And of course I have this classic. Right here. WWE All-Stars. Xbox 360. I figure I'd show my game collection. Nothing else going on, right? What else am I looking at? Just right here, I brought this up to my man cave here. I've still yet to read this, but I bought this book, and I got it signed at a book signing. So I did get to meet my favorite wrestler of all time. So that was pretty cool. I'm just looking to see what else I have in here that would be of any interest. Because I'm hoping, I truly am hoping that gaming as a thing on the MBQ channel. But I figured I have to limit it to the wrestling games that I have. Because any other games would probably have to go on my channel. Which is fine. I like to promote my channel too. which you can see the link right here. Hey, I got the point right. YouTube.com/Luck of the Draw. Go subscribe over there. I might do some gaming on there. Streamlabs.com/Luck of the Draw 1 if you want to submit a potential spin right here. Big G's not going to get his birthday spin if I don't get one in the next 20 minutes. My wife sent me this picture of our dog. I don't know if you can see that. That's how he's sleeping, apparently, in front of our TV. And you can see all the game consoles I have. The Xbox One, the Wii is down there also. I don't know if Big G's still here, but this saves to Riff's channel, and I can show him. The spin I did for him, if I get a spin. But that all depends. Ken says that dog is awesome. Yeah, he's such a good dog. His name is Bing. Bing Cherry. Because we're creative like that. So yeah. I want to give Big G a spin. For his birthday. Ken says I'm more of a dog fan than a cat fan. Yeah, my cat is... Well, I have the door closed, so he wouldn't be in here anyway. But the cat's probably downstairs. The cat and the dog do not get along. The dog tries, but the cat's not having any of it. So, 20 minutes left in the stream. Let's get me one spin. There's so many good things on here. I might be giving away a shirt today. What? Can you imagine if I gave away a shirt on Big G's birthday? That'd be so good, especially if it was his spin. But you guys are missing out. You guys are missing me out. Me singing, or dancing, or doing an entrance. It's really up to you too. What entrance I do. I can do a female entrance if you want me to. I can do Batista's entrance or any of that. And yeah, Ken, it would be epic if on Big G's birthday he won one of my shirts without even having to be here. That would be pretty cool. I may save it for the next sale, though. What's up, Ken? Dun, dun, dun. I'm waiting in anticipation. Ken says, you will imitate an entrance. Your choice or ours. It's your choice. Your choice, whatever one. If it lands on entrance, you pick which entrance I do. On the streams before, I've done the Iconics entrance. I did Baron Corbin's entrance, and who else did I do? I did somebody else's. I can't recall. I was actually really good at the Iconics entrance. It was kind of scary. But yeah, Ken, I do whatever entrance you want me to do, as long as I know it. I give you the option. If I don't know the entrance, which is a rare occasion that I don't, then I give you the option for another one. Because you got the wheel spin, so whatever you want. And realistically, the $10 will get you 2 spins. Ken says, I don't know about you, Cherry, but... Dun dun dun. Drum roll. I don't have a drum roll sound effect. Ken says, are you annoyed by the you are typing too much message? I type fast. I can't help it. I don't see it, actually. Probably because I'm not actually typing anything into here. I just read the messages, so I don't actually type it. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're limited on characters too if you send a super chat, but you can send more characters if you send more money. I think that's how that works. Do you type a lot or fast? I'm a pretty fast typer. I can type like 85, 90 words a minute. What's up, Nate? Um, without errors. So I'm pretty good at typing. Nate, I was just telling everybody um, that Big G gets a birthday spin as long as I get a spin off the wheel. And there's some people who how long have you been live so far, Greg? I've been live for almost 2 hours. I'm probably finishing up here shortly, but I was hoping to get a spin off this wheel before I close off. I'm doing half price spins today. So somebody can make me do an entrance. Somebody can make me sing a song. For the songs and dances, I typically pick because if I don't know a certain song, I can't sing it. So, Cherry, when you go to Riff's live chat and you type a lot, it will give you the "you type too much, slow the F down" pretext. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's like a limit to how much you type. I've never tried, honestly. UDS Maximus in the house. What's up? Yeah, I don't know, Ken. I don't know how that works. Jinder says, if they bring back old school Raw, what's set and theme? They should really do. I think it'd be cool if they had the old Raw is War set up. Just like go old school, go to 1997. Because I know they've done the whole freaking like 93, 94 Raw set. But they need to do the 97 Raw set. That works so much better. You see me in Riff's live chat one time, and maybe Riff's mods will know what I mean. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Ken. I can't really help you. Cherry, you know what series I would love WWE to reboot? What's that? You'll have to tell me. So yeah, I was doing the half price spins. Nobody's taking me up on that, surprisingly. You can win a T-shirt from my Pro Wrestling Tees store, which they're typically $20 or more. Well, $20 plus shipping, depending. You'd like to see Southpaw Regional Wrestling come back. That would be cool. Duty is asking, have you had the chance to see any Dark Side of the Ring documentaries? I haven't. I've seen clips of them. I have not seen full episodes yet. I need to get on that. Rusev is very funny in Southpaw. There's a lot of great stuff in the Southpaw Regional Wrestling stuff. I think season 2 is pretty funny. Fandango is fantastic, by the way. So if you haven't seen Southpaw Regional Wrestling, after this live stream, go check it out. Good stuff. So yeah. Jinder says the To Be Loved theme and New Generation era set. Is that the one with the RAW, like the big letters? Because I know they brought that set out before. Ken says, I never thought Rusev was funny, but we never thought Big E was a funny guy. Yeah, I mean, the people who you don't expect to be funny that can turn out to be funny are great. Nate Washington is, do I like to listen to country related music or not really? Not really. It's not. I'm more of a rock guy. Like whether it's classic rock or whether it's like hard rock or something like that. Just a personal choice. I can listen to country music, but it's not my favorite. Yeah, they did kind of kill Rusev Day. It's still showing up in the Titantron, but nobody really cares anymore. They kind of took all the momentum out of Rusev Day by turning him heel again and pairing him with Nakamura. It's kind of a weird combination. What theme with Raw is War? You might as well have Thorn in my or Thorn in your eye. Is it Thorn in your eye? Yeah, Thorn in your eye is the one. It's really odd that Aiden English is looking like Antonio Cesaro. I mean, you can mistake them for twins. They look ridiculously alike. It's so weird. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes left. I'm still hoping for one of you to take advantage of the half price spin because I don't know if I'll do it again. I would like to, but maybe it's a thing for Sundays. For my Sunday live streams, I won't do one this Sunday. Obviously, it's Easter. Duty says Southpaw was great. I got it on network, but only seen 5 episodes. Well, it's on YouTube. All the Southpaw Regional Wrestling stuff is on YouTube, like on WWE's official channel. So it should still be up there. Nate says, yeah, me too. Mostly hard rock and metal related, even if it's mixed with rap. Yeah, Breaking Benjamin is one of my favorite bands. Also a Pennsylvania band. Between them, Alter Bridge I really like. I like Tantric. Stained is always good for me. I'm really getting into Stone Sour lately. If that would have come out for karaoke, I'd definitely bust out a Stone Sour song. But getting into my WWE Champions game. Does anybody play that out there? The WWE Champions mobile game? Lars is asking, how about Limp Bizkit? Do you like them? Certain songs of theirs, I do. Ken says, I hope Cena's Thugonomics isn't just a tease. I hope he stays the Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick. I mean, that would be ideal, but I don't know if they're going to keep that up or not. Papa Roach, yeah. They have some good stuff. Union Underground theme with the Raw's War set. That would be interesting. I mean, it was kind of similar, if you think about it. They just changed the way the logo looked. Nostalgia is a big deal. That's why Undertaker only comes once a year. Yeah, realistically. People sending me weird stuff. Well, guys, it looks like I'm not getting my freaking... I'm not getting my spins. Which is unfortunate. I was really hoping for a spin today. But it looks like it's not to be. Cherry, when studying the Spotify questions, do you listen to mostly the NXT themes? Yeah, but you have to listen to the main roster themes as well. Because it's not just the NXT themes, and sometimes the NXT themes don't even come up in the trivia episodes. So you just got to pay attention to everything that's going on. Faction Feud starts in 5 minutes. So I'll tell you what, guys. I will do one spin. This would be for Big G. So if it comes out about a t-shirt, he gets a free t-shirt. This is probably the only free spin I'm going to do. You guys still have the opportunity, but here we go. Making sure it's in a good camera thing right here. Big G, this is your spin. An entrance. Okay. I'm going to do an entrance for you guys. This is what I'll do for you guys. Since I don't know if Big G's here, I'm going to do an entrance and see. This is what you get for my spins. I'm giving away one for free. Don't expect it all the time. Just doing it because it's Big G's birthday. So let me pull up a song for me to enter to. I'll tell you what. I'll even, because it's Big G's birthday, I figure there's nobody better to do an entrance of than this person. So, Big G, this one's for you. Make sure I'm all set up right here. There we go. There you go. I busted out. Put it right back here for timing. That's what you get for the spins. That's what happens. I can do the entrances. I can do songs and stuff. But that's what happens when I get a regular spin. So Big G, that one was for you because you're a Shayna Baszler fan. So I figured you'd appreciate that one. So I think with that said, I'm going to end this stream. And hopefully next time we'll get some good spins so we can have a lot more fun. It'll probably be not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, I'll be back live streaming. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm going to go eat dinner, and you can follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation, of course. You can follow me on Instagram at PA Sensation. I post there like once every quarter. And that is it. Hopefully Wrestling Trivia Challenge will be back soon. I can keep defending my title like I always have, and I'll see you guys for the next live stream. Check out Cherry vs. Neri on this channel. Check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/luckofthedraw. And I think I'm out of here. See you guys next time. I'm going to go